am Kayla Miracle, 2024 Olympian for Team USA, women's wrestling at 62 kilograms. So I was born into a wrestling family. My dad was a coach and my brother wrestled. So naturally, it was just in my DNA. And I was 4 years old, just going to all the practices, all the tournaments, things like that. And I was the kid that's climbing the rope. Eventually, I just asked my parents, I asked my mom, and she was like, yeah, go for it. And then I asked my dad, and actually, crazy enough, he wasn't for it. And he let me try it, and he actually made practices really hard trying to get me to quit. But 4-year-old me was like, this is so fun, I love it. And I just stuck with it. And, you know, fast forward however many years, my dad did a complete 180 and became a women's college wrestling head coach. Having my dad as a coach, that was instrumental to my development. And I mean, it took a toll on our relationship, right? Is he wearing the dad hat or the coach hat? But then once we started to figure it out, like now that he's not my coach, our relationship is so much stronger because of what we went through. Like since I started this whole journey as to be an Olympic gold medalist, he knew my goals and he was able to push me in a way that another coach wouldn't maybe be willing to push me. He knew what I wanted and he knew what I was capable of, so he like held me to a really high standard. There's more to life than just sport, and like my family really drives that home, like between them and my girlfriend. It doesn't matter if I win or lose in any tournament. If I never win another match, like I know they're gonna be very proud of me as a person and then me as a wrestler. I'm just so grateful and so thankful for all the support that I've gotten from the people that I know and are the closest people to me that are in my corner every single day. Having Pritz as my coach and my full-time coach, and like the guy who's kind of like building my schedule, my development schedule, like leading into tournaments and especially the Olympic Games, like he's there. If he can be there, he's gonna be there, and he's gonna like pour everything he can into me. If I didn't wrestle another match, like if my career ended today, I know this man would call me probably once a week to just check in, see how I'm doing. It's more than just wrestling, because he cares that much about me as a person and me as a wrestler. I've been seeing Terry since I was, what, maybe 13 years old? Like I couldn't do this journey without him as well. And he still hasn't kicked me to the curb, and you know, so it's been cool to have him like just watching me as a kid developing, and now I'm on his Olympic team for the second time. So like having his support, like it's consistent. If I ever need anything, I know I can call him. And then just the teammates, right? I think sport is about community and building community. And Sarah Hildebrandt was my roommate in Fargo for Team Indiana, and now we're Olympic teammates for the second time. The bonds you can build, like going through what we have to go through. I have a good corner. Last quad was rough. I got injured at Pan Am Championships, and I went and got imaging, saw the doctor, saw the surgeon, and him and 2 other surgeons that I went to all said, hey, like you need surgery, like you're done for the year. And I was already qualified for Final X because I won a medal in Oslo. And I was like, you know what, I wanna try. I went from not being able to get in a stance to like made the team. I had to delay my Final X. I wrestled Jen Page. I was like terrified of what was gonna happen to my knee again. And then once I like kicked that out, I was able to finish the series, and then I went to the World Championships and I won another medal. So from not being able to be in a stance to winning my second world medal, like that was just huge. And then struggles within my training environment. It was a very unhealthy training environment, some people that were very toxic, and it got to a point where I was almost done. I was like, something has to change or I'm done. Like I will not finish this quad. And the Olympic trials were 4 months away. And I'm in a position where I'm like, I don't even know if I want to do this. If I wrestled, I don't even think I would win. Just with how training was going, how I was feeling, going home crying every day, like that sucked. But thankfully, like my girlfriend was like very on board. Like if you need to go somewhere else to train, if you need to get this resource or do this or this or this, like you got to do it, because you're gonna look back and regret it if you don't give this run everything you have. And so I did. I went to the University of Iowa and I got to train with those girls. It was so cool to feel so like wanted and welcomed and like accepted in a space after not having that feeling for a long time. And so I went back and I started to find that love again. And I was like, excited to train. I was excited to compete. I was excited to like learn and like push all these things aside, because like no one deserves the power of taking like my career from me. Tokyo was sad. I mean, obviously didn't get the results that I wanted, but taking that out of it, just the lead up to it, our acclimation camp, we're secluded, we're stuck in a hotel. We could only go outside for like an hour every morning, and that was it. Like, it's not the way I need to be prepping for a tournament. And so it was just like sad. And then being in the empty stadium was just so sad. I was like robbed of an opportunity, like of the experience of the Olympics. Like, I'm an Olympian, but when people ask like, oh, how was opening ceremonies? How was this? It's like, I have no idea. Going 0-1 is rough. You know, when people ask, when they find out I'm an Olympian and they ask how I did in Tokyo, and I have to say that I like didn't medal and stuff, like there's a lot of shame in that. So yeah, I'm so excited for Paris to, one, experience the city, go out and explore, like on the days off, getting to like go and do things, like keeping my like mind off of the wrestling. And then in Paris, it's gonna be the city, like the culture, the food, like catch me eating croissants all day, you know? And then having my family there and like my people there to cheer me on, like is gonna be incredible. And they've missed that opportunity as well. Going to the Pan Am Olympic qualifier, I've now done it twice, and I can say that it's like the most stressful event that I've ever been a part of. Because it's not just about you, it's qualifying the weight for the country. Because you don't make the team necessarily if you qualify the weight, like you still have another step. But it's like, if you don't do it, there's a lot of shame. I would like be really disappointed in myself if I didn't get the job done there. But it is such a stressful event. You look at just in the United States, having to qualify to go to the qualifier and having to wrestle Macy, and like she had to wrestle Jen before. Like, these are two world medalists at like 59 and 65 from the year before. Like 62 is not a joke within the United States. And so having to do that, like that was my second time going a best 2 out of 3 series with Macy. So I knew it wasn't gonna be an easy match by any means. It was gonna be a really tough one, and it was pretty close. It was a make or break moment to me, because I lose that and Macy goes and qualifies. I go to trials, she's sitting in the finals, and one little slip on a banana peel and my run is over. So it's like getting through that and getting the opportunity to sit in the finals because I qualified the weight was like a huge weight off my back. At the Olympic trials, I do remember the first day, I knew that Jen and Macy were in the finals of the challenge tournament and I would be wrestling one of them. The second day when I actually competed, you know, going out, I like felt good. Like I just felt really good and I felt calm and I just felt ready. And then getting back for the second match, you know, I have a tendency of going through matches, and that is not a good tendency to have. Macy wants this spot just as much as I do, and heck, maybe even more. And we went 3 matches last quad for the Olympic trials. Thoughts that were going through my head leading into that second match, I was like, no, like I need to make this happen now. And I mean, naturally it goes down to the last 20 seconds of me sitting in a crackback position, holding on for dear life. But thankfully I was able to hold on and made it happen and didn't force my family to go watch like a round 3, and I didn't have to do that. I think feeling the energy of the arena, it's gonna be so different than it was in Tokyo, because we're gonna have the fans, we're gonna have the people. It's gonna be so fun to feel that and like be able to wrestle with the energy of the crowd. That is just such a special thing to get to experience, and I'm so excited for it. I mean, I think there's gonna be a lot of passion in my wrestling, and I think there always is. Like, there's a lot of heart. My grandpa has always told me growing up, like, it's all heart. And like, he'll just look at me and do this. And like, after trials, I remember telling him like, it's all heart, you know? And then he's like about to cry. Like, he's so cute. There's not gonna be a not good person in the bracket. So it's like, if we're matched on skill, like what's that like 1%? Like what's gonna like put you above the next competitor? And I do think that that's like heart and passion, and just like, I've always been able to show that. And I really think that the fans are going to be able to see that, one, if they're sitting in the stands or if they're sitting at home through the TV screen. Whether it's for a medal or not, like I want my wrestling to just like be good wrestling, like my best wrestling ever. And if it's my best wrestling, and if I wrestle to the best of my ability, it shouldn't matter like what the result is, right? Like, in Budapest at the ranking event, I lost to a really great girl in a good and high-scoring match. And I think I wrestled very well. I want to take that same Kayla with the lessons learned into the Olympics and just be my best self. That's all we can ask for.